Since the prototype looks very production ready, I am confident we'll be able to see it and start it in person at this year's EICMA show in November. Well, this seems to be the new trend nowadays. Harley was parading the new Pan America this year at EICMA behind a glass cage, like it was the damn Pope. Get people to look at it, take photos of it, film it, but keep it locked up. We don't want those pesky peasant hands all over our beautiful bike. Seriously now, this was my biggest surprise this year at EICMA, seeing the Pan America kept away from people actually touching it or sitting on it. And it's not to say the bike is not finished yet and it's made out of paper or something and it will break if people sit on it. Oh no, Harley even released a promo video of it and someone is actually riding it in the woods. So it's obviously finished. Maybe there is still some tuning to be done here and there, but to keep it in a cage? Well, nonetheless, we have some more details about Harley Davidson's first adventure motorcycle, so stick around. Firstly, let's go through all of the facts that are out there regarding the new Pan America. The engine powering the new beast is called the Revolution Max, probably named by a child. It's a 60-degree liquid-cooled V-twin which is said to produce more than 145 horsepower and more than 122 Newton meters of peak torque. This is quite respectable, and power-wise this would make it sit right between BMW's 1250 GS and KTM's 1290 Super Adventure, which would make the two its main competitors. First thing that is out of the ordinary here is that Harley is providing power numbers, which is really out of their comfort zone. They also describe their new Revolution Max engine as designed to offer flexible performance with a broad power band that builds to a surge of high RPM power. Good. The only problem that I can see with the new engine is the way that it's being cooled on the Pan America. There is one huge radiator which spans the width of the bike, and for an adventure bike that is a big no-no. Riding on gravel or any off-road for that matter, the front wheel will be throwing anything you can find on the road straight into that radiator, which is exactly why on other adventure bikes the radiator is actually split into two smaller ones positioned higher and on either sides of the wheel. So if you plan to take the Pan America off-road, of course you are, then you need to have a radiator cover from day one. Alright, apart from the engine, we can clearly see from the photos that the stopping power will be provided by Brembo calipers on what looks like the standard 320mm discs, so no complaints there. Cross-laced spokes, which obviously means tubeless tires, are another feature to celebrate, and in all of the photos we can see Anarchy Wild tires, which maybe means that Harley is taking the off-road capabilities of the Pan America very seriously here. Electronics. The bike will be packed with electronics. We can see a TFT screen in the photos, and Harley has already released their RDRS system. Reflex Defensive Rider Systems, meaning all your rider aids in one: cornering ABS, dynamic traction control, linked braking and hill hold control, etc, etc. Suspension wise, it's a standard fork suspension on the front and a standard shock on the back. No details whatsoever about it yet, but it definitely isn't a telelever paralever configuration. Couple that together with the chain drive and the Pan America should handle a lot more similarly to the KTM Super Adventure than to the BMW 1250 GS. Take that as you will. Weight-wise, there are no details on this yet, but it will definitely not be a lightweight bike. Take the big size engine, Harley's inexperience designing adventure bikes, their experience designing heavy touring bikes, and you get the idea. But it shouldn't stray too much from the status quo, since none of the big adventure bikes on the market at the moment are actually light. Alright, this next detail is where it all changes, and well done to Revzilla for spotting it first. If we take a closer look at the instrument cluster on the left side of the handlebars, and we can see it more clearly on the new Harley Davidson Bronx. We'll cover that in a future video, so make sure you are subscribed to catch that. On the left hand side, we can see a single indicator button which controls both left and right indicators. This is way out of Harley's comfort zone, which has been putting indicator buttons on both sides of the handlebars until now. So obviously all of their existing customers are used to that configuration. But in the big, bad, open world outside of the Harley bubble, most adventure riders are actually used to just one button on the left-hand side of the handlebar. So Harley is making it a lot more inviting for new riders to jump over to the Harley side of life, even if that means changing some of the ways which have until now clearly made it the Harley way. Now, this is true of a lot of smaller details on the bike, like the new water-cooled engine and, of course, the bike itself. Harley is really trying to reach out and infuse its ranks with newer riders, and a brand new adventure bike which takes them way out of their comfort zone is proof of that. The Pan America will see dealership floors late next year, so you can look forward to a lot more teasing by the motor company when it comes to the Pan America. I just really hope they lose the damn glass box. So, impressions time. If you're a Harley enthusiast, you can't write fanatic there, Dave. People will get upset. Are you happy with the changes your favorite motorcycle company is making, or are you afraid they will drift too far from the bikes they are currently putting out? And if you're new to Harley, have they gotten your attention with the Pan America? Let us know in the comments below. Well, that's the show, everybody. If you've enjoyed it, give it a big thumbs up, and if you think you've learned something new, consider subscribing or becoming a patron to help us make more of these shows. Cheers, and I'll see you on the next one.